and welcome back to the podcast. Today I am joined by longtime friend, but also kind of like someone that I've been admiring for years and from a business perspective, Kate Moir. You're going to have to actually remind me how many years that you have been in
I,
the direct sales plus network marketing industry. Like I feel like it's longer than me, right?
no, it's only been 11 years, 2015.
Okay, so actually around 2015, so I was 2014.
Yeah, I thought you were a little bit longer, actually. Yeah. I mean, I
Um,
wouldn't
I
count like my
only
20s.
remember because that's the year my third son was born. So it's the only reason I remember the year.
That's okay. We attach everything now to our child. Oh, they were
We
two.
do.
They were one.
We
They were
do.
zero.
And the
Yeah.
only reason I really like remember when my kids were born is because of sports, because everything's on like, your 2014 team or whatever.
Oh, yep, yep. There you go.
Okay, so I'm gonna just like let you do a mini introduction, and then I think this is gonna be a popular episode because you're gonna talk about two topics that I feel like people are really hungry for, which is time management and client slash customer acquisition and retention. So
Mhm.
I just think people are gonna eat that up. But first, give us like a little introduction to you, what you do, and how you got into this industry.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks so much for having me. So I mean, I started a little bit the same because you said when your third son was born, and for me, it was just before my second daughter was born.
This is
That
the
I
best time to start a business.
It's a great time. If you are like, oh, I don't know, it'll just maybe when my kids are older, it never gets easier. It never
No.
gets less busy. Like timing, there's never a perfect time to
I
become an
actually feel like it was
entrepreneur.
easier when they were babies because
It
at
was.
least like they weren't on the go and I wasn't their like full-time taxi driver.
Hmm. Yeah, I know. Somebody asked me the other day, what do you do? And I said, well, I do online marketing for a wellness company and I help people turn everyday purchases, into a revenue stream, whether it's saving time and money or, producing an extra income stream for them. And he's like, oh, okay. I'm like, but I'm also an Uber driver. And he goes, we have Uber in town. And I said, well, I'm also a chef and I also like clean
I do a
houses
lot of
for a
cleaning on
living.
the side too.
He's like, oh, okay, you're a mom. Yeah. So I feel like, you know, I'm like, but those are all jobs. And so it's really hard to say what we do because it's just everyday things that we're already doing and just
Mhm.
helping busy moms like me, like you,
Mhm.
um, essentially just find other ways and hacks to save our time and money because let's be real, we have none of it. We have a limited amount of time, we have a limited amount of resource, and we can continue to grow extra streams of income or money. But nowadays, like every time we go, it's more expensive. Like gas is more expensive and food's more expensive and everything's just more expensive. And for me, it's just like, how can we solve a problem? And so
Mhm.
that's been my thing for the last 11 years is, we had a problem. I was pregnant with a second child with zero savings, back-to-back maternity leaves, working 60 hours a week, and I'm like something's got to give and there's nothing left at the end of every 2 weeks. Payday would
Mhm.
come, the money was gone as fast as it got into the account. Like, is this life? Is this the way life has to be? And
Mhm.
you and I both know the answer is no. You can
Mhm.
have a different life. And so that's where it kind of got started.
I love that. And one thing that I've always admired about you, and correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like your main platform that you show up on is Facebook.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm 40. I'm 41. So that's where I live.
Oh, it's an age thing. I got it.
It's totally an
No,
age
but
thing.
I do
I'm
think
trying
the
to be
way
cool, Lori, but I just am not cool.
there's no Snapchat and TikTok in your world.
I downloaded Snapchat and people are like, "Oh, you're on Snapchat." I'm like, "Yeah, but I don't understand it."
No, I know. The only reason I'm on Snapchat is because it's the only place my brother will share his kids. And so I'm like there so I can see my niece and my nephews, but I
Mm.
don't get it. My kids talk to me on it. I don't know.
There you
They're
go.
actually smarter than me at a lot of like that kind of stuff in some ways.
Because they're
But
the
I was
kids.
gonna say that the way that you share is like super authentic, very real, and I think it's very like it's perfect for the Facebook world. It wouldn't like be cognizant in like other areas, but I love that you simply it's almost like you're just sharing the inside of your life, what you're passionate about, what you do on a daily basis, and you give us such a good sneak peek. And I think that really is something that you pride yourself on is authenticity.
Hmm. Yeah, and I think that's, when you were saying like from a customer acquisition or retention, I think we're always best serving the person that we used to be. And so it doesn't matter whether you sell a product or a service or whatever you do. Like you don't have to sell products to be successful, but people don't buy that item or that
Mhm.
service. They
Mhm.
buy the person behind it and the brand behind it, which you're excellent at doing with your content creation and helping sellers. But it like who am I now is because I've gone through the struggles, I've gone through the growth, I've gone through the development. And so if I can serve that person so they can maybe skip a couple of years of struggle and pain, like that's awesome.
Yeah, and I don't think it matters what you sell, whether it's a product or service, whether it's direct sales, whether it's your own product. You kind of have to ask yourself, like, what's the story behind that product? Because, and I'm sure you've seen this too. You'll see someone post like, what's a good business that I could start to make money? And like that's not the question you should be asking yourself, right? You should be asking yourself, what am I so passionate about that I can't stop talking about? And that's what you can turn into a revenue stream. You can't just start something for the sake of making money. Like, I don't think that connects with people.
No, no, and if you do it for the money, it's not going to fill your cup. You're gonna
No.
probably not survive when you're struggling through the valley because every business has a growth valley. And you're right. And so, I started my business 11 years ago on my coffee break, while I was at my job, at my day job. And that's my time. So it was my time. It was my break, right? I wasn't using company time or company resources to build my business. I was using my time, my breaks, because as a mom, I have two coffee breaks and a lunch at my job. And so
Mhm.
that's where I would have time just for me, just for me, just for Kate. And so you could go for a walk, you could go and run errands, but I chose to build this backup plan, which then morphed into multiple different backup plans, multiple different leap pads. And, coaching was part of it, selling different products was part of it, providing value was always a part of it. And so,
You
it,
is that where you came up with the term coffee break formula?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So tell us about what that is.
Yeah, I
Listen,
think
I like anything with a name. Like
I
you
like
give me a
anything with
name for something and I'm like all in.
Because I could divide my day into coffee break bite-sized pieces. And so I still need to eat my lunch. I still need to run to the grocery store on my lunch break. But in 15 minutes on my first coffee break, I could go and make sure that I have relevant content. And my next coffee break, or I could go and reach out to a few people and, just love on people as a human. Okay, so I don't go and message people and be like, hey girl, like, right, like, or whatever. It's like, oh my gosh, it's your birthday. Like anything fun you got planned for your birthday? Or, oh my gosh, I saw that Johnny, hit a home run last night. Like that's so amazing. Is it his first year playing? Or having a genuine conversation as if I saw you at the grocery store.
Mhm.
You're going to hear me talk to you that way through social media and or through my business, through text, through email, whatever I do. It's like if I saw you in person, would I talk like that? And if it's a no, you will probably not see it in a message from me. And so those little bite-sized pieces, if you had content one, customer, relations or interactions, and then follow up for my third coffee break I really did the base workload in 45 minutes. And so
Yeah.
if you really take your most highest income producing activities, whatever that is for you, most likely there is customer retention, customer
Mhm.
acquisition, and some kind of promotion or marketing,
Mhm.
bite-sized pieces throughout your day, you can move forward. Of course, you can move
Love that.
faster if you do more than a coffee break, if you do a lunch break, right? But
Mhm.
those little tiny bite-sized pieces, if you do it consistently enough and long enough, you're going to have success. If you are again genuine and authentic and a real person offering value.
Yeah. And I don't think the point is it's that it's the coffee break element. I think the point is you were consistent with setting aside that time and knowing how you were going to use that time.
Hmm.
And when I was working full time and commuting an hour to and from, I had three babies under like three. And I didn't I was a teacher, so there wasn't a coffee break scenario there, and like I wasn't able to bring work home, so I had to use all my extra time at work to like actually get like do marketing and do all the
Oh,
work
for
there.
sure.
So I would get up before the birds in the morning and I called it my power hour. And it's really just the same thing. It's about figuring out, and actually had this conversation with a client this morning. I was like, you need three lists. You need to do daily. What do I need to do weekly? What do I need to do monthly? And then you
Hmm.
figure out, okay, Monday I do this, Tuesday I do this, Wednesday I do this. And that's not that dissimilar from what you're saying.
No. No,
It's
and
about,
I really do like the Monday to Friday formula of like follow up Friday or,
mhm.
whatever.
Good alliteration makes everything connect.
Yeah, Finance Friday. Like whatever. I hate doing reconciliation, but it's got to get done. And so whatever you can do to stack it and make it happen, 100%. And so if that means getting up at 6 a.m. because it's summer and the moment the kids are up, like good luck.
Hmm.
Is it at nighttime? Like there was times when I worked until midnight at night and
Hmm.
that was burning out. And so
Hmm.
over the last decade, it's really about how to build the business authentically, systematically, intentionally without burning out.
Yeah,
Because that was definitely not the beginning. It was a roller
same,
coaster
same. Because you're just
24/7.
when you're starting out a business and you're learning, you're just flying. Like you're just kind of, getting the balls and juggling them when you can and figuring it out. But the more you like it, I always say if you're gonna do something once, do it 10 times. So do something once, build a system around it so that it's easier the next time, even easier the next time, and really simple by like the fourth and fifth time you do it.
Hmm. Hmm. And I think
Um,
that goes then with the next piece, which is the
yeah.
customer retention, right? And
Mhm.
so a system for your customers. If you work so hard for your customer, like
Mhm.
don't leave them in the dust, right? You're like,
Yeah, it's
thanks
really
for your
hard to
money,
get a
bye.
first time customer, right? Like it's really hard. So like in theory, it should be simpler to get them to be a customer a second time.
You would hope, yeah, you would hope. And so like, working through what can you do to create that frequency of how often your person shops with you or supports you or pays you, right? And so if you're set up for example, say a coaching program, you could do a lump sum or you could do a monthly plan or you could do a contract. And I've seen so many different forms of that. And I
Mhm.
love anything that gives you money deposited monthly,
Mhm.
just because it then creates that reliable repeat factor. But also, from my perspective, it's like, if I have you as a customer, I want to appreciate you, I want to recognize you, I want to thank you, I want to offer value to you, like, oh, I got this recipe book or I got this little like hack here or I got this little tip, and constantly sharing fun things with them and then
Mhm.
wishing them a happy birthday and connecting with them on social so that they don't feel like a number. Thank you for your
Yeah.
money. Right? It's not a
Yeah.
transaction. We've now built a relationship and we
Mhm.
are now friends. Like I want to make customers friends.
Yeah, I always just told people don't make it weird. Just treat them like you would treat a friend.
Yeah.
Comment on their
It sounds
stuff
so
like you
simple, but
care. And the easiest way to do that is to actually care.
yes, 100%. Yeah, and I think that that's something that you can't teach, right?
It
And
is something
so
you can't teach. It's
it
really hard.
it is so hard. And people are like, I don't understand. I'm like, okay, well, you might want to read the book Speed of Trust, because we need to build that relationship and we have to trust ourselves that we're going to do what we said we're going to do. But our customers need to trust us that we're going to do what we said we're going to do, or
Mhm.
that the product or the service that we sold them is going to do what they said it was going to do. And so something like trust for me is a huge thing that I don't take for granted in business.
And so, do you have any kind of like programs that you use? Any like systems? Like, how do you keep it all straight? Because I would imagine that you have not only a substantial customer base at this point, but a large team, and probably a large, like, I'd love you to be part of my customer base or team list.
Yeah, for sure. So I do have a couple different ways that I communicate, and I think there's no rhyme, like right or wrong way to communicate. But I find customers all have a different preference. And so some people prefer text, some prefer email, some prefer phone calls, some prefer letter mail. And so I try to hit all of the different ways of connecting with people. And so I do have a system, like you said, monthly versus weekly versus daily. And so monthly for sure. Thank you notes, they get sent out to anybody that's new. I think that's rare that you get something in the mail that says thank
It,
you, um, with your name and handwritten. Like, yes, I could probably make a beautiful cut and paste card and just send it out and not even touch a pen. But for
yeah.
me, it's like them seeing my terrible writing. They know
Yeah.
for sure Kate sent it. Um, and following up with them on a rotation. So the third Friday of the month, everybody gets followed up with. Last day of the month, like they'll get a value add at the third Friday of the month. And then the last of the month, they'll get
And what
another.
do you mean by value add? I'm guessing you mean like recipe or tip or something like that.
Yeah, something that like, oh, and like, did you see this as like this cool hack, or did you see
Mhm.
this before and
But this works
after?
in a lot of industries too. Like if you were in jewelry, you could show them a different way to style something.
100%. Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Or
it's
like,
not just conducive for for usable products.
yeah, no, and I did the same thing when I sold like one-off items. And
Hmm.
so it doesn't matter if it's one-off or versus like consumables.
Hmm.
I feel, or a service, like as a coach, I would do the same thing. It's like, hey, I saw this podcast and thought of you, or I saw this, training, or I read this really great book and I think you should add it to your list. Or I saw this cool like sheet that would help you do something better, right? Like
Hmm.
sharing little things goes
Hmm.
such a long way because now you're not only talking to them about like, hey, you want to buy something? Right?
Yeah.
If that's the only time they hear from you, they're gonna feel like a number and they're gonna feel like,
Yeah.
and not valued. And that's
Right.
definitely not the way I want people to feel. Am I perfect? By no means. I am a human, and
Mhm.
yeah, we all have those months that are just like, I forgot to send my thank you, or I forgot to send,
Mhm.
a reminder. But if you try to systemize it and schedule it, it
And
becomes a
I think
habit.
sometimes people get it, like people dramatize the word system. System doesn't necessarily mean something super duper complicated or necessarily even something like my system, honestly, sometimes was pen and paper. My system sometimes was even to look at the back office. My system sometimes has been a spreadsheet. Like I never had a program necessarily.
hmm Yeah, my system kind of varies, and I love people who are like spreadsheets, and I'm like, wow, that's so amazing. That is not
But it
me.
has to be simple enough that you would actually use it and tap into it. And
Yeah.
so a lot of people won't keep up with a spreadsheet. So it's simply something that makes you feel crappy about something else you didn't do.
Yeah, I think a system for each person has to be unique to who you are, what your
Mhm.
lifestyle is. So for me, it's a day timer. I carry a day timer. I love day timers, and then I will send like like a meeting reminder when I need
Mhm.
to follow up with somebody. I have it as a meeting reminder in my
Smart.
phone. Old school, it sends me a ding 5 minutes before I need to
I
remind
like
somebody,
that.
or the beginning of the day on that day. And so like already I have somebody that said, "Hey, I prefer a phone call
Mhm.
reminder." And so we booked an appointment the standing third Friday of every month at 10 a.m. I call her.
I love that.
And so like it's a coffee chat, like, hey,
Yeah.
and I think it's again, are you willing to do that? And again, building it into your life, whatever works best for you. But for
Mhm.
me, it's like I want to meet my customers where they're at. I
Mhm.
want to add value so that they know that they're appreciated. And I worked really hard to have them trust me
Mhm.
with their purchase. So then I
Mhm.
want to continue to support them through that journey.
I love that. And so if someone is just starting out, let's say with customer like acquisition and retention, what would be your recommendation? Like there, because I'm gonna guess the majority of people that haven't started yet have been in business for a while. And a lot of people won't get started because it feels really overwhelming because they're like, well, shit, I've got 18 months that I need to catch up on. Like, how do I even get started?
Start today. Start
Yeah.
today. Like honestly, don't worry about yesterday. Don't worry about
Hmm.
18 months ago. Like start today moving forward. Right.
Hmm.
And so I actually had this conversation just a couple weeks ago about thank you, and customer appreciation. And another person said, oh, like I have been thinking about that, but I just need to get some beautiful postcards made and I'm like, no. Go
Yeah.
down to the Dollar Tree or go into your cupboard, grab whatever note card you have, and send a handwritten note today. Like if you had
Yeah.
one
Whatever can
customer.
like take away that thing that's stopping you.
Yeah, like remove the barrier, the expectation. Messy is better than perfect.
Hmm.
Yeah, right? Like to me, or messy's better than not at all, I guess I should say.
Yeah.
Like to me, I just think that do it. Just do it. Just try it. And customers will always, I have never had a customer be like, why did you send me a thank you card? Like
Yeah, your
nobody,
handwriting's
right?
ugly.
Right? Like, nobody said that. They said, "Oh my gosh," and they take a picture and they tag me. And guess what? They're doing free marketing for me
Yeah.
because I sent them a dollar stamped postcard or a little thank you note in the mail with or without a sample. It doesn't even matter. They never even say, "Oh my gosh, thank you for the sample." They're just
Hmm.
so excited to get mail that is not a bill, right? They're just so happy.
It's true.
They're like, "Wow, I got something that's
So
doesn't
excited to
tell
see
me
my
I owe
name
money."
handwritten on an envelope. Like you just don't see that anymore.
No, it's like going to the mail and you're like, I don't think I bought anything. Like, can you get a box? It's like it's a great surprise.
It
So
is.
to me, it's like, how can you bring joy to the journey and to the people in your life? And so, sometimes it means being very vulnerable. And I think in business, there is like that releasing of the shield of being having to be perfect. And I will
Mhm.
tell you, anytime that I have released that shield and just been myself and been more authentic or more vulnerable, my customers respond tenfold
Yeah, because
because
your
now they can
customers
relate.
are human too. They are not perfect.
Yeah, I am not perfect. No, I'm not at all. So I think, if whatever you're doing in business, if you know in your heart of hearts, you're like, hey, there's so many different things that I would like to do or I know I need to get better at, just choose one that's going to have the highest return on your investment that costs the least amount of money. So I always
Yeah.
look at it like, here's all the things I want to do. And then I put like a dollar sign between the ones,
I love
right? So like
that.
one is like budget friendly and three is super expensive. And
Yeah.
then it's like, but an arrow if it's going to help the most amount of people and a low arrow if it's going to help the least amount of people. And so I'm looking for what's going to cost me the least amount of money but help the most amount of people. Start there first, try it out, and then move down the line. Like
Ah, I
do it
mean,
all.
like exactly. Done is better than perfect. And like at the end of the day, even if it's not a handwritten card because that is like just overwhelming to you, then send them a message online,
Yeah.
right? Do whatever you got to do. Just get the thank you out there. I think gratitude goes a long way in this industry,
Mm-hmm.
in
Yeah.
any industry.
Yeah, a little simple, anything. Yeah, anytime. And anytime that somebody says, "Hey, thank you so much," like I don't, it doesn't matter. Like you
I
said,
even
a
like it when my
message.
kids say thank you so much for cooking them friggin' dinner.
Yeah, yeah. I
No
love
one,
that.
no one else no one hates being thanked.
No, no, never, never. Appreciation goes so far, but also appreciate yourself too and give yourself grace. Like, wow, like I showed up today, right? Like, be proud of yourself for showing up today. Be proud of yourself for, not quitting on your dream. Be proud of yourself for, okay, how can I grow? How can I get better?
Hmm.
Because no person who has an amazing business walked into being an amazing business owner. Like, they struggled, they tried things, they failed at things, they moved forward, and they continued and they continue until. And it's just this growth journey. And then reach out and be like, hey, I really love your marketing. See, if you love somebody's marketing or you love somebody's customer thank you. Copy it. If you like
Hmm.
it,
I know.
do that for your customers, right? Like if it doesn't cost too much, like you get to make the decision of how your customers feel. And the best way to do that is when you feel appreciated, when you feel valued, when you feel like more than a number, how can you make your customer feel similar?
Yeah, and at the end of the day, I think like it's going to be one of those things that you do inside your business that you feel good too.
Yeah.
It kind of goes back to like I always say like it's better to sell to customers than it is to your friends and family. Like I know we all get angry and upset about the lack of support from our friends and family, but I didn't ever start a business to make money from my friends and family. And like actually selling to people that wanted to buy what I was selling. I always felt so much better
Mhm.
than that. But I always loved just like letting them get to know me and having genuine relationships with the people in like that I was, doing transactions with at the same time.
Yeah. We were just actually reading the Jab Jab. Right Hook book, if you're
Oh, I've
familiar.
read that one. Yes.
Yeah, and it really talks about that too, of like, you can't always be sell, sell, sell. And if
Mhm.
your marketing is always like that sell, sale, sale post, and that's why you're so good at what you do, is like there's got to be that value,
Mhm.
value, value,
Mm.
entertainment,
And then you
whatever. And
hook.
then you can have your offer. And I think some people forget that they see something and they're like, oh, that's awesome. And then they go ahead and they steal it and they post it. It's like, but it's not you. Like it's
And
like I know.
you aren't paying attention to what came before there. I always say it's kind of like earning the right to sell.
Mm-hmm.
Like you
Mm-hmm.
do a lot before you earn the right to sell to someone.
Yeah. And if it maybe maybe you're not in a social media world and you just have like a little like flyer up or a little brick and mortar, like my daughter and I, we did a little thing too. And but then it's still relationship focused. Like you still got to get people to either refer people to you or like know that you
Even if you have a
exist.
bricks and mortar store, how do you get people to come back and bring their friends?
Yeah. Yeah. I think there's
Uh,
just I mean you and I could probably talk all day long about so many
Good.
different things, but I hope that people understand you don't need to spend hours to be successful. You can do it in bite-sized pieces, but like you said, it's the consistency that is key. And so for me, it just made sense. I send birthdays while I drink my coffee. I post content before I have lunch. Like everything is timed based on meals. And so
Mhm.
that then I know before I go to bed, I have
Mhm.
done my non-negotiables.
Check the
I've
boxes.
checked the boxes and anything else is extra. But
Mhm.
every single business, I don't care what business you're in, I don't care what you sell or do, you're going to have customer acquisition, customer retention, and you're going to have some kind of referral or marketing system that is
Mhm.
bringing people to you of some
Yeah.
sort, or at least making sure people know that you exist. Otherwise, you don't have a business because people don't know you exist.
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have a podcast where I'm going to guess you dive into a lot of like topics along these lines. What is it in
Yeah,
case
so
people want to
Mama's
learn more?
making commas. So Mama's making commas. We're on Facebook, sorry, Spotify and YouTube. But we just actually interview other business owners. And so it's literally, I mean, I think I've done a couple episodes where I've shared value, but I just find so much value in
Mhm.
helping. And we just had you as a guest. And I think anytime we can have other perspectives, share their
Mhm.
journeys, share their struggles, and then their top tips to save you that headache and that learning curve. Like that is something that I think is massive value. Not at all a business stream or income stream. It's just something that brings me joy, but it
Yeah.
also is another way to serve. And anytime that I can serve people, it's not about the dollar. It's about how much value can I add and customers flow because I add so much value.
Yeah, I totally agree. So Mama's making commas. I love the
Almost
name.
comments, yeah. Yeah. And then if you're needing help with that, like if you're kind of like, I know I want to work with Lori, but I'm not even quite sure what I want to do for a business. Like that's what we do with the Coffee Break Forum is we help people build their passion into profit in those bite-sized pieces while they're still working their full-time job or
And
while
that's a Facebook group, right? Is that one of the best places that people should kind of head?
yeah, or they can just shoot me an email. I'm sure it'll be in your show notes. They can just shoot me an email and we can have a conversation and
Yeah.
help people.
You will be, but tell us the info anyways.
Okay, yeah. So it's hello at iamkatemoir.com. So Moir is Moir, but pretty basic. You can find me on social. I am Kate Moir. It's pretty simple.
I
Yeah.
know. Mine's very simple too.
I know I love Level Up with Lori and I love like how easy your name is as well. So yeah.
Thank you so much for doing this with me today.
No, thank you for having me. I love it so much. Thanks so much.
And